Hey guys, I hope you all are having a great day. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you some style tips specifically for petite women on the shoes that they should avoid. So the first tip would be wedges. So when it comes to wedges, they can add a heavy appearance to a petite frame. And you run the risk of making your legs look shorter if the wedge is too thick. So I would use caution when you're shopping for wedges. Try to get a wedge that is a little bit thinner so it can still have height, but just try to make sure it's a little more narrow. That way you don't run the risk of it looking too heavy. The next tip would be square toe or rounded toe shoes. They are instantly going to shorten your leg. So even with like a flat, if it has a pointed toe, that's going to give you much more height than a square or rounded toe would, even with a heel. The next tip would be any chunky or big heel. So that is not the best style for petite women because it's going to cut off that vertical line that we want. It's going to make your legs appear shorter and thicker than they are because it's such a heavy, chunky heel. It's going to be adding too much weight to that bottom half and it's going to make you look shorter. I would also try to avoid extreme platforms. So that can make petite women look like you're walking on stilts because it's so high. So it's not going to help with your proportion of your frame. And even though it is adding some inches and it's making you taller, it's just not visually flattering for your frame and for your proportion. It's making you look shorter. And then it's going to create bulkiness, kind of like with a heavier heel that I said in the last tip. An extreme platform is going to add bulkiness to your feet and it's just going to throw the whole petite frame out of proportion, which we do not want. I would also avoid ankle straps. So ankle straps, that just goes against the whole goal that we want for petite women of adding length. Ankle straps are gonna immediately cut you off right at the ankle and it's gonna drastically shorten your leg. If you do see a pair of ankle straps though, I would try to choose ankle straps that are very, very thin, not very wide, and not in a very bright color. Try to get the strap as close to your specific skin tone as possible, or just in a less bold color. That way, it doesn't draw the eye directly to the strap and it's not drastically cutting you off right at the leg. I would also say avoid gladiator sandals. So whether it's the short gladiator sandals or the very tall ones, it's so many horizontal lines that is just drastically cutting off your leg, which we do not want. It's gonna make you look a lot shorter. I would also avoid heavy looking shoes. So shoes that are just really clunky in their appearance, very heavy. It's gonna really look like it's weighing you down. It's gonna really make your petite frame just much, much shorter. Also, I would say to avoid sky high stilettos or just very, very high heels because it's gonna make the petite frame look out of proportion. It can even make you look like you're playing dress up because your frame is very petite. It's easy to throw that out of balance and that's what a very high heel will do. So I would say to keep the heel maybe 4 inches or less because you don't want it to look like too much like a costume almost. I would also try to avoid mid-calf length boots. That also, like an ankle boot, is going to create that horizontal line at the widest area of your calf. So that is breaking up that sleek line that we want, that sleek vertical line. So be very careful of those boots because they're making your legs look shorter, but they're also ending at the widest part of your leg. So it's going to make your legs look shorter and wider. So just be very wary of the mid-calf. And when it comes to boots, like in my last video, I said it's all about when you're petite, matching the color of the boot with either your tights or your stockings or your jeans or pants. So when it comes to boots, just keep in mind, try to make sure it matches the color or get it in a pointed toe style design. And also Try to avoid lots of hardware on the boots. With petite women, if you get a really chunky boot that has a ton of hardware and lots of just bells and whistles, just a bunch of stuff at the bottom of the boot, it's just going to be too heavy, just way too heavy for the petite frame. So those are my tips on the shoes to avoid if you are petite. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye, guys.